Humans sleep 8 hours every day. A third of their lives spent unconscious, completely vulnerable to their surroundings. To any rational mind, this is inefficient, reckless, even. Yet somehow, this fragile, biologically flawed species not only survived but thrived. They didn't just adapt to their world, they left it behind, spreading across the stars and reshaping the galaxy in their image. It seems impossible. Absurd. How could creatures so reliant on stillness and inactivity accomplish what entire civilizations, stronger and smarter, failed to do? Consider their physical limitations. They are not particularly strong. Their muscles pale compared to the dense, powerful frames of the Wervans. Their reaction times are slow, lagging behind the hyperreflexive Vrakans. Even their sensory perception is limited, no enhanced vision, no heightened sense of smell, no telepathic abilities like the Athenians. To make matters worse, their bodies are fragile. A simple fracture can incapacitate them for weeks. Exposure to the wrong environment, too cold, too hot, too toxic, can kill them in hours. And then there's their energy inefficiency. 8 hours of sleep daily isn't just downtime, it's an unbroken period where they're defenseless. Other species, upon observing this, dismissed humans as evolutionary anomalies doomed to extinction. But they were wrong. Fatally wrong. Humanity's weakness was not their downfall, it was their strength. While the galaxy underestimated them, humans thrived in the shadows of doubt, wielding an arsenal of traits no algorithm or superior intelligence could predict: creativity, persistence, and the uncanny ability to turn their weaknesses into weapons. Take their sleep, for example. What appears to be biological inefficiency is actually a mechanism for unparalleled creativity. During these unconscious hours, their minds work tirelessly, processing information, solving problems, and generating ideas. Other species viewed sleep as a period of non-productivity. Humans turned it into a workshop for innovation. They dreamed of solutions to problems that others couldn't even conceptualize. They imagined possibilities no logical mind would consider. And then, against all odds, they made those dreams real. It wasn't just their capacity to dream that set them apart. It was their relentless drive to turn those dreams into reality. Where other species relied on genetic advantages or technological inheritance, humans relied on their own ingenuity. They didn't have the physical dominance of the Wervans or the psychic prowess of the Athenians, but they had something more potent: the willingness to fail and try again. And again. And again. Their ability to rise, no matter how many times they were knocked down, was both maddening and awe-inspiring. So here lies the paradox that confounds the galaxy: a species that spends a third of its existence unconscious, with bodies prone to failure and frailty, has conquered what stronger, faster, and smarter beings could not. They weren't the best at anything, yet they excelled at everything. Their dreams were their compass, and their determination was their engine. And when the galaxy finally realized what humanity was capable of, it was already too late to stop them. While other species relied on innate biological advantages, humans had something far more elusive: the ability to imagine, to create, and to solve the unsolvable. Sleep, often dismissed as a vulnerability, was their secret weapon. During those 8 hours of perceived inactivity, the human brain became a powerhouse of creativity. Unlike most species, their minds didn't simply shut down, they entered a state where ideas were born, connections formed, and problems unraveled. Dreams weren't random, they were a crucible where imagination and logic blended to produce breakthroughs. Take their early technological advancements. It's been recorded that some of humanity's greatest achievements stemmed from dreams. The formula for faster-than-light travel wasn't conceived in a lab, but in the unconscious mind of a physicist plagued by failure. During a particularly long sleep cycle, the solution came to him in a vivid dream: a web of energy flows folding over itself. When he woke, he sketched the design, and within years, humanity had surpassed the boundaries of their solar system. No other species could replicate this process. Logical minds couldn't fathom solutions that defied their established frameworks. Humans, however, dreamed beyond logic. Their sleep also granted them another advantage: adaptability. In their dreams, they rehearsed challenges, imagined dangers, and even confronted fears. It was as though their subconscious prepared them for every possible scenario. A young astronaut, for instance, once recounted how she resolved a spacecraft failure in a dream weeks before the actual incident occurred. When it happened, her actions were precise and instinctive, as though she had lived the event before. This wasn't foresight or prophecy, it was the human mind simulating reality in ways no alien species could comprehend. Even more baffling was the sheer range of their creativity. While others approached problems with cold efficiency, humans thrived in chaos. Their dreams often wandered into the absurd, yet from this absurdity emerged unparalleled innovation. They didn't just solve problems, they redefined the problems themselves, reframing obstacles as opportunities. Where the Athenians saw insurmountable conflict, humans saw strategy. Where the Vrakans abandoned impossible engineering challenges, humans invented entirely new tools to overcome them. Their imagination was limitless, and their dreams fueled that boundlessness. Other species, in their arrogance, underestimated the power of this trait. The Vrakans, with their hyper-efficient neural structures, once mocked humanity's reliance on sleep. Downtime is a weakness, they declared. But while the Vrakans optimized, humanity innovated. Where others perfected the present, humans envisioned the future. This ability to see beyond the immediate and create solutions that didn't yet exist made them unstoppable. By the time the galaxy understood the depth of their ingenuity, humanity was already rewriting the rules of existence. They didn't just adapt to the galaxy, they reshaped it in their image. And at the heart of their rise was the paradox of sleep, a species that appeared most vulnerable when unconscious turned out to be at their most powerful. Their dreams weren't just a window into their minds, they were blueprints for a future no one else could imagine. When humans first reached the stars, they were met with skepticism, scorn, and dismissal. To the ancient powers of the galaxy, they were an anomaly, too fragile, too scattered, and too unremarkable to survive, let alone compete. Advanced civilizations saw them as a curiosity, barely worth the effort of observation. After all, what could a species with no natural weapons, no enhanced capabilities, and an odd reliance on communal behavior possibly achieve? But they didn't understand humanity's true strength, their grit. Humans were not bound by perfection. They failed often and spectacularly, but failure was never the end. Each setback fueled their progress. When their first colonization ship disintegrated upon entering a hostile atmosphere, they didn't retreat. They studied, redesigned, and tried again. The second attempt was barely better. The third failed in a completely different way. But by the fourth, they had not only succeeded but learned enough to adapt their methods for dozens of planetary environments. No other species approached challenges with this level of persistence. Where others avoided risk, humans embraced it, knowing that every failure brought them closer to success. This determination wasn't limited to their technology. Humanity's unity in the face of adversity was their most incomprehensible trait to outsiders. Unlike many species that functioned as singular entities or fractured into irreparable divides, humans found strength in diversity. They disagreed, argued, and often fought among themselves, yet when confronted with external threats, they rallied. It wasn't a single nation or tribe that reached the stars, it was a collective effort, born of cooperation and shared sacrifice. In their early interstellar years, they faced countless conflicts with more advanced species. The Wervans, seeing humanity's expansion as a threat, launched a preemptive strike. The humans, outmatched in every measurable way, endured catastrophic losses in the first weeks. Their fleets were torn apart, their colonies razed. But instead of crumbling, they adapted. They didn't fight the Wervans where they were strongest, they studied them, exploited their weaknesses, and developed strategies that no logical mind would have considered. Guerrilla tactics, psychological warfare, and sheer determination turned what should have been a swift defeat into a humiliating retreat for the Wervans. Even when they weren't at war, their resilience was evident. Colonists thrived on planets no other species dared to inhabit. Toxic air, crushing gravity, freezing temperatures, humans survived them all. They built cities on volcanic worlds, terraformed barren wastelands, and turned inhospitable environments into thriving ecosystems. Their ability to endure was rooted not just in their biology but in their mindset, No challenge was insurmountable, no obstacle permanent. By the time humanity became a galactic power, the older civilizations had begun to understand the danger they posed, not because of their technology, but because of their spirit. Humanity's rise wasn't linear or predictable. They were chaotic, stubborn, and resourceful in ways that defied every model. What they lacked in strength, speed, or intelligence, they made up for with unrelenting grit. The galaxy had underestimated them, and it was a mistake they would not have the chance to correct. In the aftermath of humanity's rise, the galaxy was forever changed. Once, alien civilizations had dismissed them as inconsequential, a fleeting anomaly destined to burn out in the vastness of space. But now, the stars bore the mark of humanity in every corner. Their ships patrolled trade routes, their languages blended into universal communication, and their philosophies reshaped ancient ways of thinking. To the oldest species of the galaxy, this transformation was as baffling as it was undeniable. How had a species so unremarkable become the cornerstone of a new galactic era? The answer lay not in their technology, which other species could replicate, nor in their military, which others could surpass in raw strength. It was in their ability to inspire, to adapt, and to unify. Humans didn't conquer the galaxy with force alone, they transformed it by bringing out the best in themselves and, surprisingly, in others. The rigid hierarchies of the Athenians, once resistant to change, softened under humanity's influence. The solitary, survivalist cultures of the Vrakans learned cooperation from human alliances. Even the proud Wervans, who had once declared humanity an infestation, found themselves adopting human innovations and strategies. But it wasn't just alliances or advancements that left a lasting impact. Humanity introduced something the galaxy had never truly embraced, the belief in limitless potential. Where other species saw the universe as a collection of unchanging systems, humans saw it as a canvas. They didn't just adapt to their circumstances, they reshaped them. A barren moon wasn't an obstacle, it was an opportunity. A conflict wasn't a deadlock, it was a chance to negotiate, to learn, and to grow. Their refusal to accept impossible as a final answer inspired species who had long since abandoned the notion of progress. Their legacy wasn't without sacrifice. Many human lives were lost in the wars and challenges that defined their rise. Entire generations were dedicated to struggles they might never see resolved. Yet, humanity's unique perspective, their ability to think not just in years but in centuries, allowed them to persevere. They built not for themselves, but for their descendants, crafting a future they would never experience firsthand. This selflessness, rare in the galaxy, became a defining trait that others sought to emulate. And through it all, they dreamed. Even at the height of their power, when they had achieved what others deemed impossible, they continued to look to the stars with the same curiosity and wonder as when they first gazed up at them from Earth. Their dreams became the galaxy's dreams, inspiring new generations of all species to imagine a future brighter than the present. In the end, humanity didn't simply conquer the galaxy, they awakened it. They reminded a universe long mired in stagnation that progress was infinite, that potential was boundless, and that the act of dreaming could reshape reality. Their sleep, once seen as a weakness, had proven to be their greatest strength. And as they continued to dream, the galaxy knew it would never stand still again.